Hello everyone, I'm Stav Cohen. Today is December 24th, 2024. This is the live daily briefing of Israeli Citizen Spokesperson's office. A short while ago, we received a terrible news that Hana Khatsil, who survived Hamas captivity for 7 weeks, has died. Since her release last year, she struggled with medical complications as a result of a horrible conditions that she endured as a hostage in Gaza. She was 78 years old. Hana's husband, Rami, was murdered by Hamas terrorists on October 7th. Hana's son, Elad, was taken hostage and later killed. His body was recovered in April. Hana only learned about the murder of her husband and her son's abduction after she was released last year. Hana's daughter, Karmit, said her mother's heart could not withstand the terrible suffering since October 7th. Right now, the lives of all the surviving hostages are in immediate danger. They're fighting to survive in horrific conditions in Gaza. There are reports that negotiations to ensure their release are ongoing. This is what we need right now. We need more pressure on Hamas and more pressure on the countries that support Hamas, like Qatar, Turkey, and Iran, so that Hamas will end the war it started and release the hostages. Last night, at around 2 a.m., the army of pirates in Yemen, known as the Houthis, fired a ballistic missile at Israel. I woke up from the siren, grabbed my dog, and ran with my fiancé to the nearest shelter. Fortunately, the missile was intercepted, but the threat remains. People have no idea who the Houthis are or what they are fighting for. Everyone should know who the Houthis are and why they are fighting for. The Houthis say it very clearly. This is their motto: Allahu Akbar, death to America, death to Israel, curse be upon the Jews, victory to Islam. Is that clear? After the October 7th massacre, the Houthis in Yemen opened a new front against Israel. They fired ballistic missiles. They launched explosive drones. The Houthis saw what Hamas did on October 7th and said, well, we like that. We're going to defend Hamas. The Houthis do not produce their own ballistic missiles. They do not produce their own drones. The Houthis get their missiles and drones from the Iranian regime. The threat of the Houthis in Yemen is not just a threat to Israel. It is a threat to the whole world. The Houthis have closed international shipping in the Red Sea for more than a year. If you sail through the Red Sea, there is a good chance the Houthis, army of pirates in Yemen, will seize your ship, take you as hostage, take your cargo, and demand a ransom. Now, why is it taking so long for the world's navies to fight piracy on the high seas? Israel should not be fighting these pirates alone. Israel is on the front lines in the war of the future of humanity. Thank us later. Let's take some questions now from the audience watching live on social media.
Thank you so much, Stav. This question is from Instagram. There was an announcement last night that 3 IDF soldiers died in Gaza. What is it like in Gaza for combat soldiers, and how long do you think they will remain in Gaza?
Okay, first of all, our hearts with the families of the soldiers, and may they rest in peace. Tell you what, as a person who fought in Gaza, when I fought in Gaza when I was 18, okay? The same year, my mother handed me a sandwich and sent me to school. They handed me a gun and sent me to fight in Gaza. I also fight in Gaza, in Hamas in Gaza, 10 years later, meaning now, the past year. We, the IDF soldiers, will keep fighting in Gaza. You still have boots on the ground as long as you have hostages in tunnels, as long as you have Hamas terror groups in creating immediate danger and threat to the Israeli citizen, because we don't want another October 7th. As long as we'll have a danger for October 8th, we'll be there.
Thank you. Our next question is, what is happening in Jenin? Is the Palestinian Authority finally cracking down on Hamas and Islamic Jihad in the West Bank? Can you please enlighten us about the situation there?
Yeah, sure. Well, let's break it down for a minute. Jenin is located on the north border of Judea and Samaria, aka the West Bank. It is, in my opinion, the informal capital of terrorism. You have multiple terror groups such as Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and more that are fighting among themselves or among the Palestinian Authority. What's happening at this very moment is that these terror groups are fighting against the Palestinian Authority because they are inspired by what's happened in Syria. They want to take control of the camp meaning like refugee camp of Jenin, and launch another terror attack, a massive terror attack on Israel. At the moment, they're still fighting. Hopefully, it won't happen.
A short time before you began your daily briefing, Israel's Minister of Defense, Israel Katz, said that Israel will begin targeting leaders of Yemen's Houthi rebel group. Is this something that you expected? How long do you think it will take? And what do you think the result would be?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a great question. Of course, I expected that. If you will not attack the head of the snake, if it's in the leaders in the Houthis of Iran, the Houthis of Yemen, and the head of the octopus Iran, if you won't attack the head, then you had to deal with all the hands. I think that if we can do it, it will make a situation in which less citizen Israeli or citizen of Yemen will hurt. If you attack the terror head, and you can minimize the damage to the civilians, then I'm in favor.
Recently, the Assad regime in Syria fell. It's no more. What is your perspective as an Israeli looking towards Syria? What are you hoping and expecting from Syria in the weeks and months ahead?
Well, I expect that the new government of Syria that is still on the rise will be open for peace. At the moment, we actually live through historical moments these days. The new government of Syria has the opportunity to make Syria let's say a state in which they have healthcare, they have roads, schools, that the level of their life will be high. It depends on them if they choose war or peace. If they'll choose war, I expect that their faith will be just like the other groups that are trying to attack Israel.
This is our last question today, and it concerns the end of the year. We're approaching 2025. What is your hope for the new year, for the people of Israel, the Jewish people, and friends of Israel around the world?
Well, tell you what, as a Jew, I wish for two things. First of all, I wish that our hostages will come back home, because we're waiting for them and it's been too much from the very first second they got abducted. Second thing I wish for is actually a wish for the world, for the West. I wish that the countries that the leaders in the West will wake up and start to realize that the threat is at this very moment maybe supposedly against Israel, but tomorrow they'll come for you. I hope that the leaders of the West will wake up and actually help us fight this war, because it is, like they told in the books, like when we were kids, it is a war of evil versus light. I guess that's all we have time for right now. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Israel time, 8 a.m. East Coast time. To our Christian friends, have a Merry Christmas. Thank you and goodbye.
Thanks for watching. Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and hit subscribe to stay updated with our latest content. Until next time, stay informed and inspired. This is Dejobnik signing off.